Let's do an air roll analysis of Ole here, who has named his video "Clock Practice." So I am going to only answer things from now on because this is going to go on YouTube, and so that it doesn't take too long, I'm gonna try not to, you know, I'm gonna try to stay focused on the video. Right? We're not gonna review the 14 minutes. We're gonna review 3 to 5 minutes because that might take already a bit of time. And yeah, all right. So let's all focus on helping Ole figure out how he could get better if he needs it, because maybe he doesn't need it, right? Just because I like teaching doesn't mean that I need to teach every time, right? If people know what they're doing, I have nothing to say, right? Okay. Oh, I need it. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so I'm gonna watch the first level and maybe the second one without pausing, without making a lot of comments, and then we're gonna come back to everything and see how it goes. Hola. This is lol. Okay, first level. Okay. Oh boy, wrong one. I recently saw your Dare video, and it's fucking great. I'm pretty confident with Dare MGC3, but still help me get a good. Thank you for your comment, Everjan. I'm glad it could help you, man. Thank you very much. We're doing an air roll analysis right now. Okay. Now we come back. All around, this is pretty good, right? You're fucking things up because, that's muscle memory, saying no. So let's go slowly now. Oh, so your joystick also makes a square dead zone. That's weird. Okay, what was that? Okay, let me get my mouse so it's not. Let's see it again. Clocks. Okay, you stayed down for no reason here. Yeah, see, you're keeping your joystick down left in the middle of the revolution, right? Down left when the revolution is neutral makes you go left. So what happens here? Your nose goes to the right. Yeah. And then you need to keep it again in order to go left, which is what you do. So I don't know why this happened. It's a little mess up. That's fine. You should have kept, what you should have done is you should have kept going with the clock, right? You should have kept doing the clock while tapping boost. All right. He's doing the clocks too fast. I think I haven't watched how fast he's doing them yet. And now you bring it up. Okay. Yeah, you're doing them too quickly. Actually. Wait, no. Let me review. Maybe it was just a double clock. Yeah, so indeed, sometimes you make them too quickly, right? So look at the joystick, look at the car. So look at the joystick and see the car, see the hood of the car, right? Focus on the joystick, but also try to focus with your peripheral vision on the hood of the car, okay? We're starting the clock. Too fast, right? Unless this is a double clock, which it's not, you're keeping your joystick down. That was a clock, the clock was too fast. And you start doing, so you start your clock, you start doing things here, and you keep doing clocks. That's reversed. So now you keep the joystick as we saw before. So this is a bit messed up, but that's fine. We can still see. He's tapping the air roll too much. No, he's keeping the air roll. He's not tapping the air roll. The thing he's tapping is his boost. All right. So here you want to make a clock, and boom, you've done a clock, but the car is reversed. So that's either a double clock, which is perfect because the car is reversed, and you've made one clock already. So if you keep going, that'll be a double clock, right? Instead, what you do, you stay on the down input. You didn't press boost, I believe. Actually, you did. Best I've had yet. I'm only trying to do double clocks. Oh, so you're trying to do. Is that a conscious thing that you told yourself? I want to make double clocks. Is that what you're doing? I know double clocks are easier, but I would rather you did the most difficult thing, because when you can do more, you can do less. If the clock is harder than the double clock to master, then it is what you should focus on. And that's just my opinion, because I'm maybe more of a perfectionist. But no champion has ever been a champion without trying hard. The best you are at the fundamentals, the better off you're going to be later. Okay? But the thing is that here you try to do maybe your double clock, but you didn't finish it. Right? So starting the clock here. And now you've done your clock, but the car is reversed. You didn't finish your double clock, right? You stayed down. Okay? So now you're like maybe almost 25%, and you're up left, and you keep doing clocks, and now you stay on the down part of the joystick. That's the first fuck up. Then you go up. Okay, so you should be pressing down soon, right? So yeah, you keep pressing up, so you're making a tornado spin from that point on. What you could have done is that as soon as your nose was facing you, or maybe just a bit vertical, you could have gone up and down, for instance, to counteract the upward input, right? But it's okay. You managed. See, you're pressing down. You're doing clocks again. So boom, upright, down, down left, upright. So that's you still doing clocks, right? You got to be careful with the rhythm. So that's just a little fuck up because you got too much speed and you didn't turn right. Yeah, this is where the reverse clock would have helped you slow down, by the way. Okay. So far, it's a bit chaotic, right? You're forcing yourself to do clocks. You're managing so far, but there are little mess ups rhythm-wise, correct? So that's good. This is locking and clocking, right? What you're doing here is locking and clocking. You're staying on one input, the one you need at the neutral revolution, then you're making a clock. This is good, right? Clocks, clocks. Oh, let's see how well you do them here. Now you're going straight. Let's see how well you do them here, right? Okay, let's from now here. Here. Let's take it from here. Oh, shit. Oh, god damn it. Okay, pretty clean. It's not neutral, but it's almost neutral. So pretty clean. Now you're starting clocks. 1, 2. You've done 2 clocks. You're at 75% of the revolution. All right? It's okay to make clocks with a chaotic rhythm when you know how to air roll. Because the more you know how to air roll, the more you realize that what I said is not true, right? You could start a clock at not at any point, but if you make a clock with a bad rhythm, you can still counterbalance it if you knew how to air roll, right? I often do that. Sometimes I don't make clean clocks, but my clocks work, right? When I say clean clocks, I say clean the way I say how to do them. But when you're learning and when you're training, you want to be as clean as you possibly can. So here you made a double clock, and your car is at 75%. Let's see what you do next. You keep on doing it. Now you just went right, but your car is 25%. So basically, you're out of rhythm, right? You're, shall I say, maybe more out of tempo. Your rhythm is okay. Well, you did things too fast, but you keep on doing it regularly. So your rhythm is the same, but you're not doing it at the right tempo. Again, 75% of the revolution, your joystick is to the right. It should be neutral, right? So your joystick here should have been up, not right. And now the revolution is neutral and your joystick is down left. So now you've started locking and clocking again. Okay, that's just the wrong input. That's fine. So I'm saying things. You're doing things really well, right? I'm not. You're doing things really well. I'm going really to the extreme of how clean you could have done it, right? Ratus has done the same thing, but cleaner, right? He respected his tempo, right? You're doing something that works, but you don't know why it does work, right? That's the difference between you and him so far. Ratus tries to get tries to get good clocks with the right tempo. You're trying to do clocks. Your tempo is a bit off, but it still works because, as I said, if you're doing if you're doing a good clock, even out of tempo, the clock will go straight. But you're not being in control of that, and you're not being conscious of that. That's the wrong thing. It's okay to do things that still work, but are not clean. It's okay to do them if you're conscious about it, right? What you want to do when you're learning anything in life is try to be as clean as you want. And then the better you get at that thing, the more you realize that you can have a bit more freedom from what you thought was a clear rule before. And that's what I want people to understand about the method, right? I had to put things in order to make it more easily understandable. Right? But in reality, the better you are at air roll, the more you realize that you can do a clock wrongly and still manage to do a clock, right? Wrongly as in not the way that I said it, right? You're struggling getting any feedback from my car, but the tempo is probably the issue. If you do a clock at the wrong tempo, right, the feedback is not going to be the right one. Because when you press upright with a neutral revolution, your car goes to the right. But when you press upright and your car is reversed like that, your car is going to go to the left. Now, if you make a clock with the wrong... That's why I say, again, I'm going to repeat myself. The better you are, the freer you're going to get, right? But to start with, we want to get used to the correct feedback that we get from the correct, I'm making quotation marks, correct clock that I talk about, right? And every time, I said that in the video, every time you make something with the wrong way, right, you're going to get a different feedback. It's like concepts and ideas, right? There are different concepts to make a clock, but there's one idea to make it, right? A clock is an idea, but then there are different clocks that you can make, right? If there are different clocks, there are different feedbacks. You want to get the right one you want to get the cleaner feedback at first, and you want to master it. And the better you are at it, the more you can linger on other feedbacks, so other concepts of clocks, right? Does that make sense? I know what I just said is a bit hard to understand maybe, but did it make a bit of sense? A clock will still work if you do it at the wrong tempo. A clock will even work if you do it at the wrong rhythm. But you cannot learn air roll while trying to taste every single different clock that you make at the different tempo and different rhythms. You have to choose one and train it so that you understand how it works. And that's the choice that I've made in the video. People don't understand that the video is also about teaching. Obviously, I could have taught all the clocks, all the tempos, but I didn't choose to do that because it would have been too hard. So I choose one of them, the one that feels the cleanest. What is the cleanest? When the cleanest is when the revolution is neutral, right? Exactly. You cannot tell the difference in feelings with different inputs without anything to compare it against. So what you want to do is make yourself a good foundation of feeling with one certain clock, the one that starts with the right input at the neutral revolution, right? Oh shit, I pressed play. So what did you do here? Oh, you're pressing right. That's a counter calibrating, by the way. Oh, you didn't keep the input, but that was counter calibrating. You pressed the left input, the right input when the revolution was 25%. That's counter calibrating, basically. So what happened clearly? So you're locking and clocking well. The good thing is that even though you're not making clean clocks, you're still waiting for the neutral revolution to linger on and to do a lock and clock, right? So that's because of that you know how to turn, right? Well, here you want to press up. Okay, good. Making a clock. Here you can just make clock. So here, what you should have done, right, is right now, put your joystick to the right and start doing a clock. What are you going to do then? You went up. Okay. If you go up now, you should quickly go right, which is what you do. Good. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. The video is fucking up. That's good, Jake. That's good. That's the wrong input, but okay, you made a tornado spin. That's fine. So here, you want to literally make a clock right here, right now. And you kind of fuck things up. Okay, locking and clocking. Yeah, so we can see it again, but you're doing your clocks a bit too fast, right? Let's go now. You're down on the joystick, and you're right on the joystick at 75% of the revolution. It's the same thing. So don't get a bad habit. This is, if you don't stop it now, this is, I'm guessing, gonna become a bad habit because you keep on doing it, and it's only 49 minutes in. You're doing your clocks a bit too quickly. We saw that in the next level, right? At the ladder level, you're right on your joystick, which should be neutral, and your revolution is not neutral. It's at 75%. Oh, good. You keep it to the right. Okay, good job. Clock one. So I'm trying to get the clocks here. Okay, this should be right, but it's not. Again, look at that. So you're down when the revolution is almost neutral, which means that you were right when the revolution was between 50 to 75% of the revolution. Now you're going up. That's because you're locking and clocking. Now you're going to clock it. And you're right. Look at that. Look how I'm not making this up. You're right, and the revolution is 75%. Now you're neutral a bit. You want to go right. Okay. Now you're pressing down right now. Okay. Making clocks. You're keeping down. It's funny when you do a tornado spin, it's because like you really need to turn. Instead, what you should have done is, what you should do is not wait for not wait to need to make a big turn. I think that was because I wanted to turn right. We're talking about the end of the turn, right? We saw the part where you wanted to go up, and I said it was locking and clocking, so you're choosing a vector. So that was fine. But when you do the end of your clocks, oh, you mean you wanted to do another clock in another input in between? So here you're pressing up. That's perfect. Here you're pressing up because you want to go right. Fine. Then you go a clock. No, you're making clocks here. But look at that. So here you want to turn left, and you're going, but you again. No. You're still making things too fast. You're still making clocks too fast. Here you go up because you want to go right. Okay, fine. Then you make a clock. But look at the clock. Look at the clock. Oh, so here you're waiting down in order to turn left. Okay. I would actually then say good job. Thing is, like here you want to make a double clock, but you stop in the middle. This is something that you will do when you're actually very good. This is what arrow looks like when you're very good, right? It's like you don't make things fully. You don't make clocks until the end of the clock. Instead, you already choose the next input, and then you do a reverse clock, and then by the time you've done half of your reverse clock, you're already choosing a new input, right? So I don't know if this is good or bad. It looks like you know what you're doing, but there's still a few things that you do. Here, why are you going up here? What the hell? So let's look at those clocks now. You're going straight, so we can look at the clocks, right? So, right, neutral, almost neutral. See, so that you made two clocks, and your car is not neutral. Are you making a triple? So that was a triple clock. I don't know if you wanted to make a triple clock. I'm guessing you didn't, because all this time you've been doing clocks too fast. So I'm guessing, honestly, I'm guessing you didn't want to do a triple clock. Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, that triple was not on purpose. Yeah. So now you're right and you're reversed. So if it's not a good clock, it should be a double clock. Is it going to be a double clock? Yes. And by the time you're neutral, you're already going down. Again, that works when you know how to arrow, when you can master it, because that's another clock, basically. But I would like you, just for now, that you try to be clear on your inputs and the tempo. Your joystick is down. Your car is neutral. Notice how clean I try to be. I could do not clean clocks, right? I could do this, right? I could do this and not be clean. I still know what I'm doing, right? Right? I'm not making clean clocks, right? I'm not going right when the car is necessarily facing towards me, when the car is neutral. But I know what I'm doing, right? I know what I'm doing, but notice how clean I try to get my clocks when I try to show people, right? If you pause this, I try really to get to the right part of my joystick when the car is facing me. So I have to adjust the speed of my look. I try to be so clean, right? And I'm forcing myself to be that clean because now that I know how to do it, I can be not clean, right? I can just do this and this and this and this and this, right? But when you learn and when you train, you want to be as clean as you can. Like every time I was on the right of my joystick here, my car was neutral. Okay? And I know it. Right? So I would like you to just, so what you're doing is really, it's fine, dude. It's fine. It's just trying to get even better foundations that you already have. Right? So let's go back to it. You're down. You keep doing clocks. And look at this. Look at this. Look at this. 75% of the revolution, the joystick is down left. Right? See, that's the kind of precision that's going to make you either learn well, like Kratos, or fuck things up later on because you're going to have a bad rhythm. If you don't have a good rhythm for clocks, imagine when you're trying to do half reverse clocks, and depending on the speed that you get, you're going to have different results, right? So let's keep going. Now you turn right. So you see you didn't finish the clock. You went right when the car's neutral. So you're locking and clocking, I'm guessing. Let's see what you do. Okay. Let's see just that little end part again. I still think if I'm correct, so here, like starting from here, the clocks. So you go down, okay, down, this is good. That was a triple clock, dude. You need to press down here to get going to the left. You keep on doing clocks. You manage to lock and clock. Okay. Obviously it works, and that is fine. So that's the good thing. The bad thing is going to be the rhythm. Clean, even cleaner than when you do what you're doing, right? I'm being quite sharp, quite harsh here, I believe, because what you're doing is really good, right? Like I'm focusing really on the bad things, and there's just one bad thing: is the rhythm of the tempo. Sorry, so the rhythm of your clock that you do off tempo, right? So I believe I'm a bit harsh right now. I could be focusing on the good parts, and the good parts is really here, right? You're trying to lock in clock. You're making as many clocks as you can, which is good because it's going to force you so it's going to force you to make inputs, basically. When you fly, when you master air roll, right, you can either choose to constantly press on your joystick, or to never press it unless you need to. I teach people to press it constantly because if they know how to do more, they know how to do less. Right? You're not harsh at all. I'm a bit harsh. But all around, it's really good, right? The only difference between you and someone like Ratus or Fuenel, who's a French viewer, is that when he does the clocks, he does clean ones. When you do them too quickly. How many times here have I stopped the video? I think like maybe 4 or 5 times, right? I've stopped the video when a clock is done and your revolution is not neutral. It's always at 75%. That means you're going just a tiny bit too fast, right? Let's see what you do here, and then we'll pause it. Clocks were very easy for me, but I have my struggles as well. There's also a roadblock. You'll get it. Yeah, of course you will. I think you did. If I'm not mistaken, you really didn't do them on the tempo. I think. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I didn't see things correctly, but okay, let's see. Just the third level. Good. Down. Wow. Such like 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You're making triple clocks all around. I don't know if that's what you wanted to do. Okay, let's review. Oh boy. Be careful, eh? Because when you make a clock and you boost, you're gonna go towards that place, right? And maybe that's not what you want to do. So here, you want to press down now, right? Or now, you want to press down. Good, that's what you do. You want to keep doing it. Yes, good. Okay, good. So that was half a reverse clock, by the way. What happened? You turned left. Did you mean to do that? Can we all agree that that was a half reverse clock? Can we all agree on that? Boom. So you go down, right, up. Look at this. Down, right, up. Boop. Half a reverse clock. What happened? He put his nose towards the left. Look how much right his nose is. Look how much to the right. This is what? This is 45 degrees, about 45 degrees to the right. Yeah? And boom. By muscle memory, this is very good, I'd say. This is really good. Why are you pressing down here? Why are you pressing down? I noticed you did that on the first video. To turn right. This is not going to make you turn right. It will maybe here because your nose, if you go right now, your nose is going to go, well, I can't show that in 3D. But your nose is going to point a bit up, right? Which it does. That was the wrong choice. That's what you've done also on the other video. The correct input here was not up, was not down. It was up right now. Right now, press up. Or actually, you're already facing the correct way. You should have clocked here. Well, you could have clocked here. Why do you say to turn right? This is a down input on an almost neutral revolution. If you keep pressing this input, your nose is going to go turn towards the left. You do turning by leaning your car back. That's what you did here. Shit. That's what you often do here. Right? I don't know where, obviously, but that's what you often did here. I personally don't like that, but you suit yourself. I don't think it's the right thing to use the wrong input that would make you go right if you pressed boost and you kept going. Like the only reason you didn't turn right is what? Let's see. What's the reason you didn't turn left? I mean, so your vector is going right. You're basically going forward, right? Now you go down, up. Here you press up, which is good. Then you kind of counterbalance it by doing a few inputs. Now you go down here. And now you go down and you press boost. If you keep that input and you press boost right now, you will go here, right? Like, okay, I don't know what to say about that. I don't like it, but suit yourself. I think it's better to use the correct input. That would make you go the correct way at a neutral revolution. So what did you do here? You did what? You did. I don't know how that made you go to the right. The correct input would be towards the top of the joystick, right? So the reason your nose is turning here, I figured it out. No, I didn't. when that pushes the nose down, it's not going to push the nose down a lot. Remember, you're air rolling. The input don't answer the correct way they would if you didn't air roll. If you pressed upright, your nose would have not gone to towards the ground. Right? Which is what you've actually done here. Hey, Pesky, how you doing? Now you press down, right. But now, this is why you go right, dude. You go right because you press downwards and you keep it when your revolution is 50%. That's why your nose goes to the right. Look. You're pressing down now, right? So your nose, right? And you're going to keep it. If you press down now, instead of going left, you're going to go right because it's reversed. And if you keep it long enough, like you make a quarter of a tornado spin, your nose is going to spin on an axis, right? I can't do it in 3D here, fuck. But it's going to be like a 3D axis, a horizontal axis like this. So at some point, your nose is going to face towards the right, which it does. Do you understand? Wow, that's so fucked up. Oh, lol. Now you're pressing down now. This is when you press down, okay? This is the beginning. What happens, dude, if I press down? What happens if I do every input that we normally know, if I do them at the half of the revolution? What happens? If I press down when my car is reversed, wait, let me go a bit forward. If I press down when my car is reversed, what's going to happen? Guess it? Guess it? Boom. I go to the right. When this input normally makes me go left. Right? You understand? If I do it now, I go to the right. This is what you do. This is how you turn right. Instead of doing this and turning actually right, what you do is that you make the input at the wrong time, and you wait for the. Let me get a bit of speed forward. Nice. Boom. Oh fuck! I did it the right way. Right. This is hard. Now. So let me get a bit of speed forward. Okay. Then I'm going to try to go down when the revolution is half, like this. And then you go right. Wow, this is so messed up. I've never seen someone do that. This is not good, though. You shouldn't do that. And boom. Then I go right. So you can do that when you're good at air roll. Because basically, what is that? That's one of the inputs of the 64 inputs. Do you understand? That's one of the inputs of the 64 inputs. Isn't it? Yes, it is. So you do this, and then you turn right. Instead of doing this. Right? So it's basically the same. It's just that I would rather you didn't do that until you master air roll. Right? Whew. Holy shit. I tried to figure out what it was. Is it the boosting? What is it? Dude, it's just that you're pressing down when the revolution is half. So your nose here, it's going to go to the right. And if you keep it long enough, it's going to make a tornado spin, which means at some point it's going to go a lot to the right and then come back behind and then go to the left and then go in front and then to the right again. Yeah. I don't like that. This is good if you know how to air roll. Right? But here you're at the third level. You've died 3 times in 1 minute and 10 seconds. Right? Okay, let's see the clocks here. Okay, good enough. So the lock-in clock is fine. Well, you boosted at the wrong time here, but the lock-in clock is fine. Where are you going to press here? Here you should press upright. Almost, not now, but in like a tiny second. You don't. You press nothing and you boost. Careful, that's dangerous. Then you press down to go left. And you touch it. Okay, so that was a blackout moment, basically. You kind of wished that you didn't go, but you kept pressing boost. Look at that. Oh, shit. It's here. Jesus, it's here. Look at that. You're going straight, and you're not even touching. Look at that. Boom. Stop touching the joystick. Hopla. Okay. How many clocks with that? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, look at that. You just went to the right and you're 75%. I'm telling you, your clocks. And again, you're pressing down in order to go right. It's a bad habit. See, you did the same thing. You're pressing down in order to go right. Right? You know what I mean? So you press down, like right now you're pressing down after half of the revolution in order to get your nose to point up so that because you're 75%, it goes not up, but instead it goes to the right, right? Because if you don't air roll right now and you press up, your nose is going to go towards the right. I think this is a bad habit. It's already a habit. As far as I can see, that's already a habit. So basically, you're using down to turn either left or right. It's just that when you want to turn right, you press down not when the revolution is neutral, but right before. No, it's not even the tornado thing. It's that he's pressing the wrong part of the joystick to turn right. You know, instead of pressing up when the revolution is neutral, he presses down at half the revolution, beginning at half of the revolution, which makes him turn right. But this is not what you want to do. This is good when you're good enough at air roll, right? Well, I mean, you are good enough at air roll, but this is good when you have empiricism, right? When you have, I would say, experience. Again, you're pressing down in order to go right. So you do that all the time, don't you? Look at that. He needs to go to the right. What's he going to do? Now he presses up, and now he presses down. Ready? Down. Look at that. He's pressing down so that his car is going to go to the right. Then he does the clocks. 2, 3. This is lock and clock to go left. So he goes down also to go left, but when the car is neutral. Okay. 1, 2. Okay, boom. 1. So you're a bit early again. You're early on the clock here. Wow. This was so fast. This is going to be a triple clock here. How much do you want to bet that this is going to be a triple clock? So look at this. You started your clock. You started your clock already. No, wait. Now, you're going to start your clock now, right? Now you're starting it at 75% of the revolution. So this is 75%. And you haven't made one revolution. You've made a quarter of a revolution, but you've made already a clock here. So that's 1. That's 2. And that's 3. Give me my money. I was right. This is literally a triple clock. This is not wrong. I'm just saying it's a triple clock, right? So if you're making the triple clocks without noticing, it's because it's just like when you do music sometimes in an orchestra. Um, People tend to go too fast at certain moments. Usually, when there's a lot of fingering to do on your instrument, people tend to go too fast because they associate many notes with faster tempo, right? And here it's not the same, obviously, because there's no notes to be done, but you're not really focusing on it, so you're making it really fast. This is exactly how I discovered I was making triple clocks. This is the exact same. I did the exact same thing, and then I realized I was making triple clocks. Right? I disagree. I always press fully on the turning radius. Personally, I never put my joystick not to the extreme. I always put it to the extreme of where it can go. 2 and 3. Another triple clock, dude. 1, 2, and 3. So here, your rhythm and tempo are off, but it's fine because you're already going straight, and basically you're doing other clocks, right? Like the others I was talking about. Woo! Dude, we're going to stop here, but it's off by a lot, yes, but notice that it still works. Thing is that the feeling you get when it's off is not the same as the feeling you get when it's clean, right? So if you want to focus on your feeling, you're going to have a hard time because you don't have a clean one to start with. Do you know what I mean? So that became so interesting at like 10 minutes ago when I realized what you were doing wrong. So all around, let's do a little recap. Let me think. Okay. All around, this is pretty good, right? You know what you're doing. You're doing lock and clocks. You're doing clocks. You're doing directional inputs. You're doing lock and clocks. Right? Lock and clock. I mean, all right? So all around, I would say this is pretty good, dude. I don't know how long you've been training, but this is really good to start with. How long has it been? Tell us. How many hours do you think you've put into directional arrow so far? How many? It's day 12, and how long do you train every day? Do you train 30 minutes? Do you train 1 hour, 2 hour? Do you do the exercises before? I think you do because you've told me that you did the reverse clock because of muscle memory. That tells me that at some point you've done the exercises. Can you tell us a bit about your routine? Day 12. Imagine day 12. Holy shit. When people learn by themselves, I don't want to brag about the method, but it's a fact. When people don't want to train by themselves, they do this in about 3 weeks to a month, what you've done. He's so fast at figuring out what's happening. What do you mean? This dude is awesome for taking his day of time for teaching us. Aw, come on. I can play when I record some. I don't do gameplay, I just do rings map, eh? Probably 3 hours each day and done free play. So 2 x 3, 6, 3 x 1, 3. So that's about 30 hours. So you know how to air roll. So you're still in my average. My average for people to learn with the method is 30 to 50 hours in 2.5 weeks, right? Which is, so you're a bit early, but good enough. Done free play and don't do practice for like 10 minutes each day. Hello, horns. I meant you notice people's mistakes very well. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't do it as quickly today, right? It took me quite a long time to figure out why, when he was turning right, he was putting his joystick down. But, so 3 hours each day and done free play and done the practice for like 10 minutes each day. You mean the exercises is what you mean by the practice? How long do you do the exercises for every day? You do like 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. So, good enough. The good part is that so you know how to air roll. There's no denying that. This is really good. Right now you're doing mostly locking and clocking because you said you wanted to force clocking into that video, which I think is great. Now for the negative, the negative things. Um, I think you should be cleaner on your tempo. And at the same time, I think you should be cleaner with your rhythm. Because you start the clocks at the right time, but you don't finish them at the right time, which means that you don't start the next one at the right time. So there's both a tempo and a rhythm issue here that I think you should work on before it gets in your muscle memory, right? So maybe 10 to 15 minutes for the exercises should have been 20 to 25 or 30 in order to have good clocks. You're trying to do double clocks, but you're doing them too fast, right? Which means when you start doing the next one, you're off tempo. All right. So those are the first two things, and then the last thing that I don't like at all is that you're turning. In order to turn left and right, you press the same input, but not at the right time. This is something I disagree with. You can do it if you want. I'm not going to force you to use my method, right? But I think my method works for a reason. The reason is that we work with constants, which is support for everything that we do, right? And I think before learning inputs the way you've done, you should learn the correct inputs at the easiest time. The easiest time is when the revolution is neutral, okay? So here you want to go right, and instead of pressing up when the revolution is neutral, you press down when the revolution is at least 50%, which means that your car is going to go towards the right. This is good if you know what you're doing. If you never press up in order to go right and you only press down, what are you going to do with the up input? Like only clocks? You know what I mean? If you don't use the input the way it should be used in my book, then what is it good for? It's like when people say you should master air roll but never press on the right part of the joystick. Then what is on the left part of the joystick? Then what is the left part for if you never use it, right? There must be some kind of use for it. You're basically doing the same thing as they say, right? They say something and you're basically doing the same thing by not using the input of the neutral revolution. Because now your up input, sometimes you use it, and I've seen it. Sometimes you use it to go right, but so many times you should use it. You're using the bottom part instead, right? And I think it's good for someone who knows how to air roll. I think it's bad when you've not mastered it. It's like if I told you that instead of learning how to run by learning how to walk, right? So you want to learn how to run, right? Instead of learning how to walk first, what you do is that you jump, you make big strides, like you jump, right? So basically you never know how to walk. You do know how to run, but you don't even know how to walk. And it should be simple. You should make little strides, right, to walk. But you don't train to do that. So basically you're going to spend your whole life running instead of walking. And when you want to walk, even though it's simple to do, you may not know how to do it. Even it seems logical in my analogy to make little strides in order to walk, right? It's not the best analogy, but you get my point. You're learning something that empiricism should teach you. And you instead of letting empiricism teach it to you, you are making it yourself consciously, right? There's a reason why I say top and bottom part of the joystick. I say it because of the tempo. The tempo is a constant. The constant is a support for us to, when we're lost, we can always rely on it. If you don't rely on it when you're learning and when you're training, if you never rely on your support, when you get experience, and you need support, you're not going to get it because you're not used to using it. Does that make sense? Am I clear not only for you, but for everyone? Is this clear? Do you understand? I have to work on that. Yes, you should work on that because it's already become. I'm pretty sure it's already become a habit, and it's not a good habit. It's a habit that should come with time. But here you're forcing yourself to consciously do that. So you're making a choice. That's the difference. You're making the choice to turn right this way instead of focusing on your tempo and your constant, which is always going to be here. It's like imagine if you have like it's going to be you have someone here that always helps you. Right? In your life, there's someone who always helps you. And instead of relying on his help because he knows how to do it, you do things by yourself. You do things by yourself so much that by the time you need help, you don't even know how to ask for help because you've never done it. It's the same thing you're doing with air roll. You're never relying on the one thing that the game gives us in order to get control of our car. Right? Do you understand why I say it's a bad habit? It's like because you're not even helping yourself by doing that. Instead, you're kind of attracting wrong things. Free air roll and pressing up, nose down to hard in my head. Oh, if it's a free air roll shit, this is not good. This is why it's hard though to get it off your muscle memory. Free air roll and directional air roll are really different. They're different. It's handicap. Yes, that's what I meant. It's a handicap. It should be a help for you to have a constant, but because you're not using it, it's not a handicap now because you're still turning right. But let's say you're doing an air dribble or a redirect and you want to turn right and you're doing the wrong input and then you get lost and you don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like at least if you made like half a reverse clock with it, I would say fine, But no, you just press down at the wrong time in order to go right. So this is, you should focus on that. Okay? Okay. I'm forced to wait for that part of my rotation to turn right. Yes, but it's all about anticipation. If you anticipate well enough, you don't have to force yourself to make another input in between. And you can wait for the revolution to be ready. So it's all about anticipation. So what would I say? Maybe you're going a bit too... If you cannot anticipate, it's because usually you go too fast. I'm not talking to you specifically. I'm saying in general. If you cannot anticipate, if one cannot anticipate, it's because one goes too fast. So if you do this input because you don't have time to wait for the next revolution, it's your fault. It's your fault for not anticipating your trajectory and your speed in order to wait for the next revolution, right? You shouldn't have to use an input because there's no other way for you right now. This is not good. You should always anticipate. Okay? Yeah, that's what I just said, yeah. Maybe you're going a bit too fast. You manage to go fast and still, sometimes there are little fuck ups, right? But that's understandable because you're training. There will always be fuck ups until you're ready and you actually know 100% what you're doing. The fuck ups in blackout moments happen to everyone, even me, right? And I'm not even the best. Like, clearly I'm not even the best. Okay? Good. I think we're done with the training. This might be the end of the YouTube video. If you're watching it and you've made it that far, thank you very much. I hope that helped some of you and enlightened you. And hopefully I didn't say too much wrong shit. Because I can be wrong. God knows I can be wrong. But so far, I've kind of predicted the triple clock. I've kind of predicted why you're turning right. So I'm pretty happy with my analysis. Okay. Good.